Hey, good evening, SFL League members and team owners, and welcome to another edition of the Sydney Football League Breakdown. Coming live to you from Fayetteville, North Carolina at 9:57 p.m. on November 17th. Games are well underway. Panthers are beating the Saints right now. Looking good for me, looking good for my matchup against GNG, who's texting me at this moment telling me he's in Mountain Standard Time. Great for you. Don't care. Let me finish my video. Thank you, sir. Okay, let me stop this and start this. Let's tell you a little bit about the playoffs. There are 6 teams in the playoffs. If you don't know, there's 3 rounds, 2 byes. It's a 1-week period, and it's based on total points. That's the winner. Obviously, we know tiebreakers, quarterback total points, as it's been all year. So, don't forget, if you're a higher seed, you get plus 5 fantasy points for being the home team. Moving on, I want to tell you about my top 4 free agents. Just quickly rattle them off. I think the best guys on the board right now at each position are QB Alex Smith, running back Bilal Powell, wide receiver Anquan Bolden, and tight end Kyle Rudolph. If you got space on your roster, if you're looking for a little bit of help, if you're trying to make a push towards the playoffs, those would be my 4 guys: Smith, Powell, Bolden, and Rudolph at the tight end, wide receiver, running back, and quarterback's position. Next up, I want to tell you a little bit about strength of schedule. This is kind of crazy, and this is something I'm just working on real fast here, but I know they've been talking about it a lot in the NCAA and these playoff committees and things like that, so I kind of wanted to give you a little bit of a twist. Right now, the weakest schedule in our league has to be Eddie, GNG. He only faced and has faced 4 playoff teams all season, losing twice to those playoff seeded teams by more than 60 points. Sad state of affairs for that young man. The next weakest strength of schedule is kind of a mix-up. It's a big tie. We got Rage, who faced 5 playoff seeded teams, lost 3 of those games. You got Al, who faced 5 and lost all 5 of those games. You got Days, who faced 5, lost 3, just like Rage. And then you got me, who faced 5 and lost 2, both to Fuzz Bumpers. So 5-6-3 falls to Fuzz Bumpers twice out of the 5 playoff contenders he's faced. The next weakest strength of schedule goes to LMB. Has faced 6 playoff contenders all year, not including Week 11. This is through the first 10 weeks, he's faced 6 playoff contenders and has lost 4 of those matchups. Fuzz, interestingly enough, has faced 6. This is kind of a nice twist. It shows really where he has had his strength on the year. No matter who he faces, he's able to pull them off. He only lost 1 matchup, and that's to Mike, and I think that's a rivalry kind of get in your head kind of concept, where Mike twisted this little roster maneuver, made a couple suggestions based on his potential roster and his projections, and I think that might have thrown Jeff off of his game and gave him that 1 loss. Otherwise, he'd be perfect against playoff contenders this year, just losing 1 out of 6. The next weakest strength of schedule, it's hard to say weak at this point because they're getting pretty damn strong, has to go to Gypsy Danger. Really impressed with these 2 guys, and this shows a lot about our league. We've had some, I'm just going to go off on a tangent here, we've had some really, really, really great performances out of everybody this year. Everybody's just kicking ass, everybody's just taking names, and literally they're taking names from the waiver wire and turning them into big-time points and winning fantasy matchups. So again, I'm just impressed with the participation in this league, above and beyond. This is the best fantasy league I've ever been a part of, and I think we're really going strong and hitting our stride here in Week 5. And I'll say it again, I think it's time to start spending some of that equity, maybe bringing some people in or changing some rules, doing some funky things, exploring those playoff rules and things like that, maybe extending week periods and opening up some playoff. I really think adding team owners is key. I think we should do that and try to look for some good, viable candidates for the SFL. But I digress. Danger and Lace had the strongest strength of schedule, the hardest schedule all year, both facing 8 playoff contenders. Or, there's 6 playoff contenders right now, but they faced a number of them more than once. Danger lost 6 of those matchups, just winning 2, and Lace sadly lost 7 out of 8 of those playoff matchups. So to redirect, just want to point out that Eddie only faced 4 playoff contenders all year and lost 2 of those matchups by more than 60 points. So he's kind of like a, what do you want to say? A wolf in sheep's clothing, I guess you would say, where he looks like he's a really strong team, but he hasn't really played anybody. All right, now we've got 5:35 on the clock. Let me wrap this up with the breakdown. Turn this up a little bit and let you know that I'm here for you. Let you know that I got something for you. 563 versus GNG. 563 is a 15-point favorite. Rage versus Daze. Rage is a 23-point favorite. Dange versus Fuzz. Dange is a 2-point favorite. Al versus Lace. Lace is a 9-point favorite. And LMB versus Tier. Tier is a 19-point favorite. Again, Tier, 19-point favorite. Lace, 9-point favorite. Danger, 2-point favorite. Rage, 23-point favorite. And 563, a 15-point favorite going into this week. Guys, I love you. I miss you. I'll say it again. Thanks for being the best part of my day. And as always, go Niners.